Hello, everybody. I'm Ilsa. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And just to tell you a little bit about myself before we dive in, I'm also a regenerative health practitioner. Started doing this to up level my own body, and then it turned into a whole big vision and purpose journey. So I'll share a little bit more about that in a second, but it's part of my mission to help women with fertility and hormonal balance, but also healthy pregnancies and to address and prevent postpartum depletion via nutrient dense foods and support mamas and babies at all stages. So, our intention today is for women on this call to walk away feeling empowered with solutions to address the root cause of depletion, soil health, and nutrient density, and also to gain some understanding of how glyphosate, this neurotoxic chemical, is impacting our health and our fetal and childhood development. And I also want to share some solutions so women don't have to struggle through postpartum and pregnancy anymore. They can actually thrive and have a beautiful, like sacred process through all stages. So I entered the world of these nutrient dense foods because I was going through some deep issues with my own body. Um, so I was experiencing some chronic pain in my hips, and my doctor told me that I had calcifications on both of my hips and I was going to need hip replacements in the next few years. And at this point, I was 31 years old, and I was like, that is not happening. There's no way I can let that happen. So I started searching for solutions all over the place. And I didn't even think about addressing the other issues that were going on in my body, too. But at the time, I was experiencing adrenal fatigue. I was having trouble getting through my day without a cup of coffee or two or three. And then I was having extremely heavy, painful periods. This had been consistent throughout my life. So I thought of it as like a normal kind of thing. And I also was experiencing reoccurring BV infections, bacterial vaginosis. And I took antibiotics multiple times. Things were not solving the problem. It just kept coming back. So I ended up diving into this world of nutrient dense foods because one of my really good friends, Heidi, she's on this call today. She referred me in. She was like, these things can help you. And I was really skeptical, but through the 30-day experience, just like the first 30 days, I started noticing phenomenal changes in my pain levels, in my hormone levels, with my energy levels. And by like the 60, 90-day mark of sticking with this program, I was out of my chronic pain completely. My hip pain went away and it has not come back. This was a long time ago. My energy levels started skyrocketing and I could maintain my energy without any stimulants, without any caffeine. And I now have painless periods. I mean, like maybe I'll feel like a little twinge in my stomach or something, but I don't have any PMS symptoms anymore. And my periods are super light and pain-free, which is like phenomenal. I never expected these shifts. And my BV has not come back. So I just wanted to share my wins with you so you have a little idea of the journey I came to this point where I wanted to become a regenerative health practitioner because I saw so many changes in my own life. And then I turned my family onto these products and these nutrient dense foods, and they have radically transformed their lives. And then I started hearing these other stories about mamas and women that are revolutionizing their whole pregnancy and their postpartum experience by using these tools. So I got certified as a regenerative health practitioner. Just to let you all know, I have miscarried in the past, and part of this has been an extension into how I want to work with women in the future as far as helping women prevent miscarriages as well as postpartum depletion or pregnancy issues. So after learning everything that I have through my regenerative health journey and through my education, getting certified through the Institute, I've learned that when our lymphatic system is backed up and we have these other issues going on in the body, this can all get passed on to our babe too. So part of my journey now and my goal is to help illuminate this for women too, that even if you're not pregnant yet, if you're pre-pregnancy, there's so much we can do to clean out the body and restore the body so that we can have that smooth journey and we don't have to worry about miscarriage. You know, we don't have to worry about these imbalances in the body having negative effects on our life and our families. So with all that, I would like to pass the mic to Maddie. She has had an incredible health transformation herself, and all in relation to her postpartum journey. So Maddie, would you like to come on and share with us?
Thank you so much, Ilsa, for the introduction. And I'm really grateful for this invitation to come on and share because, honestly, it's still like a work in progress for me to be sharing my postpartum journey, because I feel like as mothers in our society, there's so much emphasis given to our prenatal care and pregnancy and getting ready for the birth of our child. And then once the child comes, there's so much attention given to our child. And I know for myself, in particular, my postpartum journey felt very lonely. It felt very isolating, and the vulnerability that happens during that time, is not something that's meant to be dealt with in isolation. And so just having these opportunities for me to heal like my own wounds from my postpartum journey, and getting to share this with you all, because I know there's so many women that experience a similar thing that what I experienced as well. And it's incredibly common, but it does not need to be normalized. And I'm just so honored to be a part of this group and this community that's really shifting that narrative and making it more and more well known that we don't have to live like that and be really depleted and broken down moms, especially when we're bringing new life into the world, and we can really raise that vibration and thrive all together by coming together to support each other. So I experienced, my son is now 3, but for years after I gave birth, I experienced what a lot of moms experience, with anxiety and depression. A lot of that was due to lack of sleep, and my mind was just racing, and I wasn't able to get that opportunity to really shut it off and to calm down and get grounded once again. That led into heavy depression. And, again, I mentioned just a lot of isolation that was really hard to deal with and manage, and so much guilt and shame and layers coming on top of that really amplified poor mental health for me. And I got a lot of help. I received a lot of help and support, and I'm so grateful for all the people that showed up in my life, and for a maternal mental health counselor that I worked with closely and intimately, that supported me in so many ways. But there was still a lot that was missing. And, my dear friend Mary Beth, Rita's sister, I had witnessed her journey over the course of a few years, and she had had her second child just a few months after I had given birth to my first. And I just saw her really thriving and rocking it. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I eat so healthy. I'm so particular about where I source all of my food. I'm really intentional about my nutrition. Like, I don't, but she just keeps talking about this period thing. And I was really at the end of my ropes, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'll throw my hands up, like really in surrender. I was like, all right, I'll drink this cherry juice she talks about, and let's just see what happens. And immediately, it was radical how the difference, I'm blown away by it. It was like immediately I started sleeping and getting deep rest that I hadn't felt in years. And that was huge for my mental health. That was huge for my anxiety. It was finally, I was explaining to someone before, it's like I had this fan that was constantly running and like this background noise, and I didn't realize that it was always on until it finally shut off, and I got to feel what that silence and that stillness was like once again. And that was so profound. And then in other ways, I was really incorporating that core 4 that we use. So I use the aminos to help support my body, like prior to exercise. This is really great protein fuel. And I started just shedding weight unbelievably. And I wasn't looking to lose weight, although I had about 40 excess pounds of just inflammation. And, the way I describe it is it wasn't just physical weight I was carrying around, but there was a lot of mental and emotional baggage that I was just holding on to. And I was impressed with just like how quickly this gentle detoxing was just allowing me to get cleaner and get clearer and feel more vibrant. So that in turn, with the deep nourishment, I got my energy back, because exercise is my main medicine. Exercise is the main tool I have as my antidepressant. But most moms probably can relate. It's like you don't have time for yourself. Then when you do have time, you usually don't have the energy. And it was just this vicious cycle. So that's why I bring in, it wasn't just one thing. It was really a combination of things that really helped me. It was getting that deep rest that then I felt rejuvenated and inspired, motivated to actually want to move my body again, and then to take the time to take care of myself. And the ways that this has impacted me as a mom has been major, because for one, it's allowed me to be more present. I had wanted to be a mom forever, for so long in my life. And then when it finally happened, that was part of like the suffering I was experiencing. It was like, this is not at all what I wanted. And it wasn't living up to like my dreams and my hopes of being a mom. I wasn't able to show up in the way that I really wanted to. And to be able to like reduce that stress and really feel supported and feel taken care of and be able to show up like with joy. I mean, I'm still, yeah, it's been a major journey for me, and it was a big process. So I'm just so grateful to be in a place where I can actually enjoy my son and enjoy being a mom, and being able to be present in that way has been huge. It's what I had always dreamed of. And then, for me, it's like coming out of depletion has really led me to a place of wholeness, of feeling completion, not like complete, like I'm done, but like really coming into this place, of feeling more whole again. And wow, I mean, I could just go on and on, because again, coming from a place of like so much isolation and loneliness and that perpetual cycle, this has just been such a tremendous gift. And I'm just so grateful. And one other thing that I'll say, because I just received this text from another mom right before I hopped on the call, and she had shared it with another mom of hers, because she's like, I can't believe, like for us as moms, this is a huge deal to have this convenience of this nutrient dense superfood, not only to take care of ourselves and nourish ourselves, but to be able to pass that on and take care of our children in this way, because our food system is not what it used to be. And you have to be very vigilant as a mom to take care of your child and be particular about your health. And it's similar to like when you're looking for childcare, you really want someone who's willing to do that work and who really cares about being with your child. And I got to meet Dave, one of the owners, back in October, and I was just blown away with this man's passion and his integrity and his intention and what he's bringing as he sources these foods to bring it to to the public to be able to consume. And it's like, wow, I'm able to relax that mental load of having to source everything and figure it out all on my own. Again, that like similar theme of feeling like I have to do this all on my own and not feeling supported in this way, where it's like, oh my gosh, I have someone that I can absolutely trust, who I know actually probably cares more about the source of my food and what's in my food than I even do, which was shocking to me, because I'm so particular. But it's just been a major blessing on so many levels. And I know I'm not the only one who has a story like this, but it's been a major, major shift, that's for sure.
Thank you so much, Maddie. That's such a powerful, powerful share. I really appreciate you being on here today. Rita, do you want to take the mic and share some about the superfoods, the nutrient dense foods that we work with?
Absolutely. Thank you, Elsa, and thank you, Maddie. Your story brings me to tears. It's just amazing to watch your transformation and your journey and your care and compassion for helping other mothers in this way. So thanks for your courage and for sharing. Really appreciate you. And my name's Rita Fleming. My background is also in regenerative health. And I got into these solutions because when I was 19, I was in a near-death car accident and I broke 16 bones. I couldn't walk for a year and a half. I had chronic pain for 12 years. And that was me trying absolutely every solution I could find, from nutrition to physical well-being, mental well-being, Eastern medicine, Western medicine, and I just could not get to the root cause of getting out of chronic pain. So once I learned about these regenerative principles and then nutrient-dense foods, the game completely changed for me. And I was able to regenerate my body, my spine, my nervous system, and get out of that chronic pain. So that's why I'm so passionate about bringing these resources to you. All of us have been touched in some way with our own story. And that's what makes me really advocate for this and for others. And so I'm going to dive into a little bit about the nutrient density that we're working with, and this transformed my life. And Maddie, her story, she was just adding in these superfoods and having that transformation. So I want to get into a little bit of our pre-pregnancy program. We have lots of options, but a few that I really love is our ultimate lifestyle transformation plus immune support. So this you can do, 30, 60, 90 days before wanting to conceive. And what it's going to do is flood your body with these whole food vitamins, minerals, micronutrients. So the majority of our soils on the planet are incredibly depleted. We're not getting those micronutrients that we need. We're not getting the amino acids that we need from our foods. And those are our building blocks. And so these foods, as Maddie was sharing, Dave, one of the co-founders, he's been working with regenerative and organic farmers for years, and they're grown in 99 feet or 96 feet of topsoil. So in ancient lake beds, watered by mineral-rich volcanic spring water. So there's just nothing like this. And within 3 days of adding in these nutrients, and I grew up with organic, I grew up doing permaculture, traveling the world to amazing, permaculture communities, and I was still incredibly depleted. So within 3 days of adding these in, the lights just came on in my body. So the first thing I want to start with in our program is the Power Shake. And this has your whole food vitamins and minerals, healthy fats for brain development. So this is going to cover your bases. It's full of folate and really just flooding your body. And something that I've noticed with everyone that I work with is once they get these superfoods in, they feel this new peace and calm in their body. And what's happening is at the cellular level, because our food system has gotten so degraded, we're fed plenty of calories, but we're not fed plenty of micronutrients. So at the cellular level, our cells are always asking for food, and then we feed it, but it doesn't translate into those nutrients that we need. So they're consistently dealing with that cellular starvation, even if we're getting plenty of calories. So that creates a stress response in our bodies. And once we get those nutrient dense foods, once we get what we need, our body and our nervous system just calms and relaxes. So that's really huge, important for, preconception, so that you're rebuilding before giving all of your energy and your resources to your baby's development. And then it comes with Zinc Aid. And this is your whole food vitamin A, C, D, E, and zinc. Zinc is really important for all of the functions of your body. It's important for your immune function, your DNA and RNA repair, brain development, liver, reproductive health, kidney health, skin health. It's really important for fertility and the development of our babies. So that's something that most people, I think the last statistic I read was something like 95% of people are deficient in zinc, and we want to get it from a whole food source. And that's what's so powerful about these, is they're not isolates. And most vitamins you get at the grocery store, at the health food store, are isolated chemistry, and that just gets stuck in our lymphatic system. Our body doesn't know what to do with it, whereas these are absorbed and utilized and go to all the systems of your body where you need it. And then it also has that vitamin D in there, and that's essential for teeth, bones, connective tissue, and really, supporting all of your bones and connective tissue. So that's huge. Something else that we're working with is Biomedic, and this is our gut microbiome support. So you just take a capsule in the morning time with your shake, and it's the only clinically proven solution to eliminate glyphosate out of the body. And glyphosate is the main ingredient in Roundup. 4.5 billion pounds are sprayed annually. It's in our food, our air, and our water. So we're all exposed to glyphosate on a daily basis. And one thing that it dramatically impacts is our mental health, because it acts as an antibiotic and kills off the microorganisms in our soil, which is why our foods are so micronutrient deficient. It stops the body's ability to absorb those essential amino acids, which are the building blocks. Glyphosate takes out the medicinal properties of our food that are so important. And it also kills off the gut microbiome diversity. And without that microbiome diversity, we can't produce our serotonin and our dopamine, which are essential for our mood regulation. So the other thing that glyphosate does is within 20 minutes of exposure, it creates leaky gut. And when we have leaky gut, our toxins leak into our lymphatic system, which is our immune system. And this creates a systemic inflammatory response throughout our entire body. And that impacts your endocrine system, your immune system, your inflammatory response, your joints, like it impacts everything. And that also spills over into the blood, that toxicity. And then those toxins are able to pass that blood-brain barrier, which creates an inflammatory response in our nervous system. So that can lead to brain and nervous system symptoms and weakness long-term, like including Parkinson's and all of these things. So that's why it's really important to repair that gut microbiome diversity. This eliminates 90 or 74% of inflammation within 6 weeks. And that inflammation also causes that leaky gut. So we're working on repairing those tight junctions. And that's the foundation, because when we repair the gut, when we repair those tight junctions, those toxins are no longer leaking into our system, causing that systemic inflammatory response and impacting all of our organs, glands, and tissues. So that's the foundation of health, really. And then from there, you have your shake, you have your gut support, and you have your zinc, you have that biomedic, and then we have our plant-based amino acids. I'm almost out. These are 99% bioavailable. Most of the proteins we're eating are 11 to 36% bioavailable. So these are going straight into your nervous system, skin, collagen production, strengthening your spine. I have such an amazing story with my spine strengthening with this. And supporting all of your connective tissue and your skin and your collagen production and your nervous system health. So these are great, pre-pregnancy, but also during, of course. So, and then you have the tart cherry juice that Maddie was talking about. This is great for that nervous system calming and regulation. It also reduces that systemic inflammation throughout the body. It opens up our kidney pathway, and our kidneys are what eliminate all of our lymphatic congestion, that inflammation. So this is huge for cellular regeneration. And it also supports your deep REM sleep cycles. And when we have that, get into this deep sleep, even if it's limited sleep, if we're new mamas, if you're getting that deep sleep, that's when our body goes into repair and regeneration. So that's going to help regulate our hormones and our sleep cycle, which is important going into pregnancy. So those are a few things that we can work on. And additional things that you can add in if you want is fulvic zeolite. This is pre-pregnancy, just to address heavy metals in the body. Heavy metals really impact our brain function, all of our tissues. If we're dealing like with candida or fungal overgrowth, that's a sure sign that we have heavy metal toxicity. So this is important just for cleaning up that internal terrain pre-conception. The other thing that we have is cracked cell chlorella. And this helps to oxygenate the body, alkalize the body, but also get rid of those heavy metals before having a baby. So that's beautiful. Another thing is we have amazing endocrine system support. So we have, I don't have it here, it's our super love meal. And that has great herbs in it. It's all raw, it's all sprouted, it's living. So these living foods really support our nervous system and our endocrine system and our electrical system. So that's great. 75% of dis-ease is actually a result of a weakened endocrine system. So if we can strengthen that before having babies, it's going to improve not only our hormone balance, and our emotional and mood regulation, but also support our children in that same way. And then as we move into the first trimester, and all of this is also incredibly helpful for fertility, like your adrenal glands are very necessary for fertility. All of these micronutrients, they're going to support your whole reproductive system. So then as we move into your first trimester, we can work with basically the same simple things: the gut support, the micronutrient dense green shake, the tart cherry juice, and those amino acids. And these are going to cover all of your bases so that you're getting what you need and help with that alkalinity, that oxygen, that absorption, that nutrient absorption, and really support your body. And it was neat. My sister, she got into this program because she was dealing with major depletion, postpartum depletion. And she was looking for solutions, and watching her transform, within a few months, she went from being incredibly stressed at the time to looking like she was 16 years old again. And I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? So that's when I became really interested in this whole program. And I've gotten to be at all of her births. And, since she added in these micronutrients, her pregnancies got so much smoother. The aminos really helped her to deal with nausea, so she wouldn't feel so nauseous. Really helped to balance out her mood and her hormones, and then not deal with that postpartum depletion afterwards. So, and being at her births was really special. And all the midwives and doulas were saying just how strong her placenta was because of these micronutrients that she had been flooding herself with. So that was really neat. Again, you can take this throughout the pregnancy. And I want to dive in, there's more that we can support. But I want to dive into, post-pregnancy, postpartum. Having all of these things will really prevent that depletion afterwards. And you can also add in this barley green grass, and this helps with your milk production. So, continue to just take these superfoods throughout during postpartum, and that's going to flood and fuel your body with the micronutrients that are important for you and baby. And then also that tart cherry to help you with the sleep. Something that I love for mothers and for kids is our Kids in Focus. And I used to have a really hard time focus and concentration. Like ADD, ADHD symptoms are actually a result of trauma. And this is regulating to your nervous system and your endocrine system. So mothers can take it, and then that helps their babies to be calm because they're getting it through the breast milk. And then, little kids can use it, and adults can use it for that focus and concentration. So I find that's also really key afterwards. All right, so those are a few of the resources that we have. There's so much here. So definitely connect in with the person that invited you, and they can answer questions and get you supported and connected in. But one last thing that I want to cover is important nutrients postpartum include vitamin A, vitamin D, B1 for your nervous system health, and that's like in your green leafy veggies and your rice bran. Iron for that red blood cell formation. It's in your kelps, your oranges, your grapes, your parsley, your leafy greens. Vitamins B6 and B12, vitamin K, choline, which helps with your digestion and absorption, and that's in your grasses and your veggies and your cabbage. Niacin, vitamin D, folate, magnesium, and zinc. And these are all in these whole foods. So I want to pass it back off to you, Elsa, but thanks everyone for being here and taking the time.
Thank you so much, Rita. That was a beautiful breakdown. So I just wanted to share a little bit before we finish up about how this has improved the financial side of the spectrum as far as my life goes, and other doulas and mamas all over the place, as far as creating that time and financial freedom so that you can have more ease in your life as well, as the health and the wealth. So one of my biggest goals has been to be able to support my family in the way that I want to, on all levels. I want to be able to retire my parents and buy them a house at some point. That's one of my next goals. But I've been working multiple jobs my whole life, working paycheck to paycheck, and still barely making ends meet for myself as far as my goals go, and not being able to support my family how I want to. So even when I started health coaching, because I was a health coach before I was a regenerative health coach, I was not making the difference that I wanted to see. So Purium has been a solution, making a radical impact on not only my health and my mind, but also my finances, as far as it has simultaneously allowed me to make such a bigger impact with other people's health and their finances as well. So it helped my clients attain goals in a much shorter window of time. Just to give you a sense of things, like they used to be struggling with things for like 2 years, and now some of my clients can do those things in like a few months. So it's really powerful seeing like the rapid transformation and progress that people are making as you go along. So it's very rewarding working with these products and this company, just step by step. And not only that, but it's become this vehicle to create this financial freedom for me on a whole new level, all while helping people thrive in their bodies, which feels really in alignment and purposeful to me. And my long-term vision, one of my newest goals, and what I'm striving for, is to create some kind of a sponsorship program so that women and families can have access to these nutrient-dense foods no matter what, no matter where you're at with your finances. So women don't have to struggle through pregnancy or postpartum anymore, and to connect with birth workers around the world so that we can empower women with solutions. So that's my mission, and I just wanted to let you know how it's impacted me on all levels. So this could be a solution for you as well, and it's making such a deep impact. I just have to share. Maddie, did you want to share a little bit about your business story too while we're on here?
Yeah, totally. Thank you, Ilsa. So, I had shared with most of you, I really got into this for my health purposes. And what I didn't realize what would come out of it is the bountiful amount of wealth, actually, just by the authentic way of wanting to genuinely share something that's been of deep service and a value to you, and wanting to help other people in that way. I am a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for over 10 years. So I received my doctorate degree 11 years ago. And one thing that I really loved about that educational background was really the education. It was really being able to learn different tools and resources to be able to be of service and to help people feel better in their bodies and enjoy their lives. One thing that I didn't love about it, though, was actually leaving the education system and going into the reality of our healthcare system, which didn't feel super supportive in terms of caring. I think a lot of other healthcare providers can relate, and other physical therapists that I know can relate, is, one thing that I noticed is a big mindset shift for me now that I've been working with Purium more and more, is we actually were operating, we're these heart-centered individuals that really care and want to help people, but we're operating under this system that emphasizes productivity more than well-being. And that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for the provider and the practitioner, which is why burnout is so common among healthcare providers. And, to me, it also wasn't sustainable for my patients and the people I was working with, because I just energetically didn't have the ability to keep showing up with the quality of care that I wanted. And, I have a history of mental health issues. And so just really that was compounding for me, the struggle of wanting to show up and be of service, and also feeling that conflict. It wasn't financially sustainable for me to work in that system. Part of it is like we literally you look at what your billable hours, as a physical therapist. So you're trading your hours for dollars in compensation when there's so much more that goes into the care of providing and being present with someone as you're trying to help them along their health journey. So big thing for me with working with Purium has been being a part of a team and being part of this incredible network of people where the intention is really focused on our well-being and rippling that out to others. It's like, I cannot be successful in this business unless I am doing the work on myself and taking care of myself. And I have all of these beautiful people that I work with who remind me of that. It's not about selling a product or trying to get more customers or It's like really this focus on your mindset, on your well-being, and how can you amplify that and promote that, and who could be of service, who else could you be of service to, and who else could you share that with? And that's been a total reframe for me. Again, being, raised as a healthcare provider in the Western medical system. And that, there's this quote that I've seen that the wealthiest person in the room is the most grateful person in the room. And coming from where I was, 3 years ago, completely downtrodden and depressed, to being so vibrant, feeling so grateful just to be alive, to be in community, to be linking arms with these incredible other practitioners and providers, knowing that, we're coming from a place of abundance and collaboration rather than scarcity and competition. And that has been the greatest value and the greatest wealth for me, I will say, and being a part of this company and being a part of this community with you all. I'm just so incredibly grateful, and I don't know how else to say that. I know Rita has some awesome shares about her business transformation too.
Thank you, Maddie. I love that. The wealthiest person is the one with the most gratitude. And yeah, I just can't agree more in how supportive and life-changing this community has been for me. I was looking and trying so hard to get these regenerative solutions out to people because of how much this information and education changed my life, and how many years I struggled looking for solutions without answers. And I wanted to make this accessible and approachable and easy and in everyone's household, just as common wisdom and knowledge. And so I'm so grateful and blessed because this platform has taken all of my passions, and I have a lot of passions, and put them under one umbrella where I can truly be of service in alignment with my deeper values, my deeper purpose, and really make an impact. And so since linking arms with this community and this platform and this company, I've been able to impact thousands of people's lives and bring them more joy, more community, solutions, just feeling better in their body so they can show up in the ways that they want to, whether that's for their families or for the people they care about, or their job and their passion. So that's been really rewarding. I've also been able to make the biggest impact in transforming our food system, which is huge because this needs as many voices and advocates, sharing solutions as possible, because this is really big. 50% of our children are dealing with chronic illness. 50% of our population is dealing with chronic illness. And we need these solutions to be accessible to everyone, because this is the first generation of parents that are expected to outlive their children, because we're dealing with this disruption from the toxins in our food and the lack of nutrients in our food. So that's huge. It's also helped me to reduce plastic use, which is, I'm so passionate about this subject. The owners, Dave and Amy, they created their own home compostable packaging that's made from hemp and bamboo. Most of the compostable packaging out there is made from GMO corn. So their level of integrity and the way that they want to make an impact, from planetary health to physical health, mental health, and financial health, is just huge. And I've never found something that I can link arms with and make such a huge impact with. So that's been really amazing for me. I've also been able to retire my mom, which is a dream of mine since I was a little girl, because I saw how hard she worked, and talk about being in a system where she's trying to provide for her kids and overworking and overstressed. I want a huge part of my intention is helping mothers, families, birth workers, our communities to have our family systems more intact, where the mom and the father can be home if they want to, and be with their children and be working less hours and getting better compensated for it. So that's a huge part of my mission, and this platform has allowed me to do that and help others to do that. And it's also allotted me the time freedom to be with my nephews and my new niece and really be there for them and provide that safe space for their development. So that's a huge part of my why is, having that time to be with my family and my loved ones and to do the things that I'm passionate about. So it's also given me the ability to share this information at a much bigger level. It's given me a voice, and it's given my community a voice. So I'm just incredibly grateful. And my goal is to really help people live their potential without being limited physically, mentally, or financially. And something before joining this community is I was playing life so small. I had so much to give, but wasn't able to show up in all the ways that I wanted to. And this has allowed me to stop playing small and really show up for myself and my community. And then most importantly, help other people to do that and get their voices out. So that is basically what we wanted to cover today, help people to get their bases met on every level so that they can thrive. And Elsa, I'm going to pass it back to you to close.
Thank you so much, Rita. Your story just never stops inspiring me. So I always love hearing it. Thank you all, everybody, for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. And there will be a replay. So if you know of anybody who's praying for these solutions or could really use to hear this information, please reach out to one of us and we will send you the replay so you can pass that on. And if you want to get started with us, if you want to try out some of this stuff or learn more about what we're doing, please reach out to whoever invited you and we will get you all set up and dialed in. So thank you again. And I hope you all have a really beautiful day.
Thank you.